bones on your head top with the OG like Flintstones, good and bad. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that he ain't got to filter through your liver. We in the studio, rock on, let the heat rock simmer.
Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to another episode in the studio. Hey, just want to welcome you all back. I thank you all for tuning in and checking out the previous episode. Hope you've been enjoying them, or you had some comments that made you think a little bit. So I hope it was cool. And I'm in the studio and I got my young buck with me. So yeah, so we got Izzo in here. So we just gonna try to run another one. Now, if you recall, last time we was talking about dating, and we talked about dating and what dating was about and how you go about getting that, looking for the right person, how you choosing, figuring out during the dating process what kind of people you want to date and what you look for in a relationship. I'm going to take it a little bit further, a step further in this episode. So this is basically dating part 2. Because now I'm going to talk about once you've gone through and you've been dating for a while and, picking and choosing different, you had different women you've gone out with and different men you've gone out with, and you've been checking some things out. So now you say, okay, I think this one might be the one. This is the one I'm going to spend some time really getting to know and examining, because he or she is exhibiting those qualities that I look for and that I want. So now you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that you really want to spend some time getting to know. Well, some of the things you have to understand, when you start making this exclusive, you want to make sure that you are really learning that person and understanding that person. So you're going to have to take not just she really cute and I like her and, she got some qualities, but then examine those qualities. Take it a step further. One of the things, I always look at, and I tell my kids this, is that when you're looking and you're in a relationship and you have that person that you also want to look at their family dynamics. Not necessarily that everybody's going to have a 2-parent household. In most cases, that's probably not the case anymore. However, the relationship they have with their parents, mom and or dad, or mom and dad, however it goes, but that relationship they have, you need to make sure when you're looking at that person, it's like, do they respect their parents? And I'm not saying that their parents have done the best job. Maybe their parents got some issues or whatever. Beside the point. Respect the parent. Do they respect their parents? And the reason why I ask you this question is because if they don't respect their parents, it's going to be real difficult if they ever get to a place where they're going to respect you. Because if I can disrespect mom and dad who brought me into this world, I definitely can respect the guy or the girl that I'm dating when they make me mad or when they do something I don't like. So respect isn't, and again, I'm not talking about do they have this great relationship with their mom or their dad. They may not have a great relationship for whatever reason. And I'm not going to get into the reason why they wouldn't have a great relationship. Maybe the parents' fault, maybe the child, maybe in most cases it's both. However, what you want to do is, okay, do they respect their parents? And again, if you got a mom, if you got a guy and he cuss out his mom, or he's, mom, shut up, yelling and, acting crazy, what you think he gonna do to you? If you got a girl who has no interest in being respectful to her mom or her dad, what do you think they're gonna do to you? That's what they learn over time, is how to be disrespectful to their parent, even if their parents hurt them. And that may be the case, and I'm sorry for that. However, they need to heal and figure out how to respect their parents before they get into a relationship with you or anybody else, because that's going to carry over into that relationship. So make sure you examine that when you're meeting somebody. And again, maybe you need to go fix and heal your relationship with your parents before you seek somebody to get with like that. Because again, that trauma, you're going to take it into your relationship, and you're going to cause problems over and over and over again in that relationship because you don't know how to respect people. And again, you feel like because I was hurt or because this person did something to me, I can be this way or I'm this way. I'm not saying what you went through wasn't real or it should have happened, but I'm saying heal from it. Get some healing. Figure out how to get back past it so that you can have a healthy relationship. Now, when we talk about dating, this is my girl now. I want to make sure, how do I treat her? And a lot of guys, y'all struggling with these young fellas. I've seen it over and over again. Y'all don't know how to treat these young ladies. And some of it is because y'all allow these young ladies to try to tell you that being a kind person or being courteous and opening the door for her, or being that being macho doesn't mean I'm putting her down. But there's certain things I can open the door for her. I can pull out her chair. I can open the car door for her. It's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that she's less than me because I do those things. But I need to treat you, I need to make sure I treat you special. I'm not treating you like this because you just some girl that I'm feeling like I'm stronger than. I'm treating you this way because I want you to feel special. So I need to learn how to do those things. If you don't know how to do it, then get with some brothers that's maybe a little older that know how to do it. And if you're an older brother that don't know how to do it, you need to get with somebody and teach you how to do it. I try to open the door every time my wife gets into the car. Something I've learned over the years. I open the door for her. I hold the door for her. I buy her flowers occasionally. I try to do these things not because she can't open the door for herself. She's been doing it a long time. She can open the door for herself. And she with me, she opened the door for herself. But I want her to feel special. She's just not some girl, some lady I know. This is my wife or this is my girlfriend. So I'm going to take it to a next level and treat her special. And that's what you guys got to learn to start doing. Treat your woman special and then see how she treats you. Because one of the things I've always, I've learned over the years is that women are like thermostats, so to speak. You set the temperature, but whatever temperature you set is what she's going to give off. So she's going to give off heat because you put the temperature too high, or you got the temperature too high. She's going to give you, the house going to be cold because you done turned it down, turn the temperature down too. So, but if I treat you and I'm keeping you warm and comfortable, that's what you're going to give back to me, and give it back to me even better than I gave it to you. So I got to treat you better. I got to make sure I make you feel comfortable, warm, loved, and I'm not afraid to, again, open the door for you or to hold your hand or to, put you, when we walking down the street, make sure you're not next to the curb where something happened to hit you. No, I'm going to be there to protect you. I'm going to do that not because you can't handle these things for yourself, but because I'm willing to sacrifice for you. So guys, step your game up, man. It ain't just about having a girl and then treating her like you treat everybody else. What good is that? Treat her special. Find things that make her happy and then do those things for her. Vice versa. We're going to talk about y'all ladies too. Y'all, look, this ain't about money. A relationship is not about money. And if you think it's only because if he spend this on you or if he buy this, or he can buy you a whole lot of stuff. And I said this before, a lot of guys spend money, but they don't give you their time. They ain't giving you no attention. They ain't doing the things that you really want or need. They just giving you stuff because they know it's going to keep you quiet and keep you out of their hair while they go over here to this other chick and do some other things that they shouldn't be doing. But you were satisfied with the paper, or you were satisfied with the things that he put around you versus the love that he was giving you. And so you're not giving him the respect and the love that he needs, so he's giving you what, hey, this works. But that's not long lasting. Because eventually at some point you're gonna say, oh, well, you don't talk to me, or you don't, hold my hand, or you don't treat me like a lady, or whatever the case may be. You'll come up with all these things and be like, well, I never did. So when we started this, I didn't do those things for you. And also, when you start a relationship, that relationship should be the best. It should be top notch. You should feel so much love and gratitude from that girl when y'all first started, and the same thing you should feel from that man is like, Oh, we talk on the phone all the time. Hate to hang up. Every time I see her, I'm giving her a hug and a kiss. That's early on in the relationship. If you ain't getting that early, imagine what's gonna happen late. If I can blow you off by just giving you buying you a gift early in the relationship, what's gonna happen later? It's gonna get worse. And now you're gonna be talking about the things you want. And the first thing a man will say is, look, I ain't never had to do that for you. You never wanted that. So why are you changing the script? So you can make sure you figure out and you just kind of talk through those things in your dating, when you're dating early in a relationship, some of the things that you need. And I'm talking about the things you need from the inside out, not the outside. So from my inside, I feel these things. This is what I need from you. And you share those things with, your girl, or you share those things with your man so that y'all can have that kind of dialogue and he'll understand how to treat his woman, what makes her feel special. Because ultimately, that's what I'm trying. I want you to feel special. I want to take pressure off of you. I want your life. Again, life ain't gonna be easy, but it can be easier when we work in this thing together and we sharing through some of our tough spots. And I know I can always count on you. But if we don't talk about those things, how will we ever do it? How do we argue? We want to talk about how do you argue? I always, my thing is, I want to get in an argument with you early. When we start dating, I can't wait till we married to have an argument with you. We need to have an argument, disagreement of some kind, because I need to know what you really like. Because everybody on their best behavior when everything cool. Everybody, look, I love you, you love me. You know how the song goes. Maybe y'all know young, but anyway, the little Barney song. But if we in love, everything's great. It's cool. But when we have this disagreement, now how are you going to respond?
Side note, what are your thoughts on those couples that, like you ever talk to one of your homies or somebody or something that, or a woman, and she'll say, she or he will say, oh, we don't argue. We never argue. How you feel about those people?
I think they're lying to themselves. Because again, first of all, there's nothing wrong with having an argument, a disagreement. How you argue is the thing. I think what happens is they try to label how they argue. And so maybe we don't yell at each other, which is cool, and you really shouldn't. But don't mean you didn't have an argument or a disagreement. And so it's really how they probably labeled it. Because you're not going to be in a relationship with nobody and agree all the time. And if you think that's true, you a fool, and you need to be by yourself. Because that's the only way you're not going to argue is being by yourself. Unless you got two personalities, you probably fight with yourself.
I heard some people argue with
yeah, so that's a whole. But in reality, if you're in a relationship with somebody else, friend, dating, husband, wife, mom, dad, sister, brother, all that, you going to have an argument. How do we do that though? Because this is one of the things that I want. When people argue, they lose control to a degree. And so now you see what that person really. So if we dating and we really cool, everything's in this relationship is really good, and we have our first argument, and the first thing you do is throw something, or the first thing you do is cuss me out, or the first thing, we're in there doing this, now all of a sudden, now I see what you're really about. Because all the times I told you, we ain't cussing at each other, we treat each other with respect. It's easy to do that when we lovey-dovey. But when I make you mad, now all of a sudden you cuss, and now you're like, oh, I didn't mean, no, but this is who you really are. So now I'm seeing that. Now, I ain't saying that because you've done that, we can't fix it and move on with the relationship. But I need to know, because now I know what we need to work on. We need to work on some self-control. Because if it's almost like when you dating this guy, and he all cool, and then the first time you go do something he don't like, next thing you know, he gonna smack you upside your head. Well, wouldn't you like to have known that in the first couple of weeks of the relationship versus after you got married? So again, we talk about red flags, but sometimes the red flag, you avoid red flags because you're afraid to have confrontation. Confrontation is not always bad. It's how we have these confrontations. So I need to learn how to talk to you, not only when we lovey-dovey, but I need to learn how to talk to you when things aren't right. And so again, my mom never cursed at me. And so my mom fussed a whole lot. she would fuss and talk, and tell you what you're doing, and you'd be like, oh Lord, just beat me. But she did, but she never cursed at me. So I didn't grow up with grown-ups cursing at me. So when I got in a relationship, I'm not cursing at you, and I don't expect you to curse at me. I don't want to talk down to you, and so you shouldn't talk down to me. Now, when you're young, sometimes you don't understand that, and you have to learn how to not talk down to people. But again, we need to learn those things about each other during our dating period. Our relationship is growing and developing, so we need to have those conversations. How do we argue? Again, don't be afraid to have the argument or the disagreement, because if I don't like something, I need to be able to tell you I don't like it. But I also need to have this safe place where when I tell you I don't like something or something you've done is hurting me, then we can talk it out and we can have a conversation where we can fix that problem and not create additional problems because we don't know how to talk to each other. So again, that's part of your dating. What's your communication style? Again, is your communication style the same as mine? Those are things we need to start figuring out. Maybe I'm a guy that I don't like talking that much. I don't like to have those conversations. I don't like to have many conversations. And maybe you're the type of person that want to talk about everything. We need to know these things about each other. We need to figure those things out. And again, not something that necessarily has to end your relationship, but where's the compromise? I'll talk to you sometimes. When you need to talk, I'm going to be there to listen. And at other times, you're going to understand that I don't like to talk, so you ain't talking to me about every little thing that's going on, because that's not who I am. One of the things I had to learn, and this was in my marriage, is that I would, like, my wife come to me and tell me something happened. I'm telling you how to fix it. Let's fix this and move on. What I realized I had to learn is that she didn't want me to fix nothing. This was just her wanting to vent. But what I had to tell her is, let me know the difference. I can't read you. Do you want me to fix this or do you want to vent? If this is then come to me and say, hey, I just need to share something with you. Cool, share, and I ain't got to tell you nothing. I can sit and listen, and we cool. But if you come in and you got a problem and you want me to fix it, then that's my natural tendency. Let me fix this for you, baby. Let me take this pressure off of you. Because that's what I want to do. I want my wife to have no pressure on her as much as I can. If my kids act up, fine, I'm going to go handle them real quick so you ain't tripping on this. That's how I operate. But sometimes, no, she didn't want me to talk to them. Sometimes it's just something they were dealing with and she wanted to handle it, but she wanted to talk it through. It's okay. I won't say nothing to nobody. I'm going to just let you talk it through to me so you can go deal with it on your own. But we need to understand that those communication styles. And again, those are things that we do during dating. How do you handle that? How do I handle when I'm loving this girl and she's so cool and everything is great, and then I realize our communication styles are opposite. It don't mean we have to break up. We just got to figure out how to work through it. And usually, what you do is you can find ways. If you have, I always say, have couples that are older that you can talk to, not necessarily your parents, because parents choose sides. I always, I told my kid, it's like if your girlfriend or your husband or wife or whatever, if they met, they should come tell me what my daughter did or what my son did, because no matter what, I ain't gonna stop loving my son. Now, I might smack him upside his head, I might be mad at him, I might tell him off, but he know I'm always gonna love him. But if you went and told your parent what he did, your parent might, it might be a whole different issue. And then after y'all make up, now you got, your parents look at him the side eye. I don't need to know that your wife disrespected you in a way, because now I'm looking at, how you gonna talk to my son like that? But y'all done made up. So again, so you should always have a couple that you can go to, kind of talk those things out. That's gonna be non-biased. Sometimes uncles and aunts are better than actual parents when you have to deal with some of those things, or if you have that older couple that's going through some stuff, you can deal with them. But again, you make sure you just kind of figuring out your communication style. One thing couples don't do, and when they're dating and they wait too long. They don't talk about children. Do you want children? Do you not want children? If you want children, how soon after we get married do you want children? Because those are important. Because to me, if you get married, you should have some time for yourself as a married couple, a few years before you bring children into it. Because again, you're still learning each other. But then, if you do want children, how are you going to raise the children? We don't talk about how we raising our children until we have children, which is usually too late. I believe you whipped that behind. You may not believe that. That's going to cause us a problem. So we need to have, but if we were to discuss that, maybe I whip too much. Maybe you don't whip at all. So we got to find a happy medium. Like I remember my wife, when the kid you whip, she would be, I take them in the basement or they end up upstairs in the room and she go in the basement because she couldn't handle it. Now she agreed that they needed it. She just couldn't deal with the crying or the fact that she could hear them getting popped over their behind. But those are conversations you need to have, because you don't want to wait until after you have children and then find out that your wife gonna be jumping in the middle, or you gonna be jumping in the middle, telling your wife not to spank your kid,
or punch him in the face.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you about to spank him? Oh, I know you're not gonna spank my child. Now y'all got problems because y'all didn't have this conversation. So again, talk about that. Talk about how you handle those situations, how you handle children, and again, dating is the time to have those conversations. Financial conversation. Again, people don't talk about it until after they get married. Do we have separate bank account? Do we have one bank account? How much money are you spending versus how much am I paying all the bills and your money is just fun and save it? Again, all those, however y'all choose to do it, you choose to do it, but have the conversation. Don't talk, don't spend the whole dating just, going out to eat and going to the movies and having sex. That's going to cause you a problem later, because then you end up getting married and the first thing you say is, well, now you're expecting him to pay all the bills. He's like, yo, why we can't split this? Well, why we should have had that conversation ahead of time? Because maybe you would have made different choices. If I would have known, in her case, if she would say, well, you expecting me to pay all of it? Yeah, because you make more than me. Or even if you say 50-50, 50-50 may not work. Because if I make $200,000 and you making 25, but we splitting stuff 50-50, is that really fair? But again, that's a conversation for y'all to have ahead of time, before, during the dating period. All these conversations, how do we spend family time as far as with our relatives? Are we going to spend Thanksgiving with your mom and dad and Christmas with mine? Or are we going to spend everything is going to be at our house and we ain't going to go nowhere else? Or do we do everything with your family because you don't like nobody in my family? We need to have those conversations. All those things, is a time where dating is that opportunity for you to kind of figure those things out. Don't just, like I said, don't just waste your time dating, having fun because you can have fun in those conversations. Because again, there's no pressure on those conversations right now. If we ain't got no kids and we talking about raising kids and how we want to do things, there's no pressure on us. We ain't got none. The pressure comes after you have kids and realize that you want to raise them one way and she want to raise them another way.
I would offer pushback to that. I think the pressure comes if you have those conversations. I think the pressure comes once you realize that those answers that you got probably aren't going to be conducive to the relationship working out. And I think that we should normalize people in the dating stage not thinking they're married. We're dating and we're figuring out what it would be like if we get married. Right. So it's okay to walk away.
And that's no pressure for me. And you said it's pressure, but for me, that ain't no pressure. Because if I learn early and I can bounce, that ain't no pressure. I'm sorry. Look, man, we can be friends, we can be cool, and we can probably still date until I find another girl. But that ain't pressure for me. Pressure for me is now I'm stuck in this. I'm married to you. So that's my pressure. But I agree with you in that people get caught up into dating thinking it's a marriage, meaning I'm stuck and if I don't like this. So what, you gonna not find out the things you don't like and then because you're afraid to end the relationship? That's a dangerous way to live.
Well, that's the thing. I think that the pressure can come from I like everything about this person, but these conversations that we're having are fundamental disagreements and things that is just like it's a compatibility. We have different views and different values.
Yeah.
So if everything that is in the present I like spending time with you. I think you're fine. All this kind of stuff. That you have to leave, or you think you may have to leave a person based off of something that will be an issue. And it's not even it might be an issue in the future, because if you like say have a kid conversation and y'all are just on completely different spectrums as far as that goes, you don't even have kids yet, but you're making a decision based off the kids you might have.
Yeah.
So there could be some.
But again, it goes to that's what we're dating for, to find out. We want to find out what it is that we want to do so we can move forward. So in order to, now again, if we're gonna say right now we're gonna stop this relationship at this point, and this relationship will only be what it is today, meaning we ain't going no further than this because we know what you want and what I want are completely opposite, then that's fine. We can do that. But don't be afraid to do that and say right now we gonna stop. We ain't thinking about the future because our future is not gonna work. Right now we just gonna live in this moment, and I'm gonna enjoy you, you enjoy me, and we'll call it a day. But you need to have those conversations so you'll know, because like I said, the last thing you want to do is get down the road and now y'all getting married, or y'all been married for a couple of years, y'all bringing kids into it, and now all of a sudden you're looking at each other and you're like, I hate the way you talk. You trying to do this with my kids, or you trying to do this with my... No, they're not your kids, they're our kids. And we have to make sure we do these things together. So we need to have these conversations together. So again, you got to make sure you talk during your dating. Talk during your dating. Get around other couples, get around other people, and see things that they experience or that they're experiencing, so that you can then have a conversation about it. So we just went out. Yo, you see how they treated each other? Yo, yeah, I don't like that. I would never do you like that. That's good to know. Or, I see dude open the door for you all the time, his wife all the time. Y'all had that conversation. So, and so we can have those conversations. And then you maybe, again, everything, even when I talk about opening doors, and again, if y'all get to a place where neither one of y'all care, or it doesn't seem like it's something that makes a difference, that's your choice. For me, it made a difference. When I started opening the door for my wife, I saw the change in how she felt. So I know it mattered to her, even though she never said it. And we had been married for years. She never said anything, probably never even thought about it. But again, it was just one thing that I was able to do that made her feel special. Now, she do things for me that make me feel special too. And so, but again, I acknowledge that and I appreciate her for that. But again, so I'm saying, as you're dating, start doing things that make your girl feel special, to make your man feel special. And then you'll see over time how the relationship can grow and flourish, and have those difficult conversations. Again, just because you have a tough conversation today in the relationship, don't mean the relationship got to end today. Oh, but it just means that we may not go too much further. And that's fine. Maybe because again, people always say, some people in your life, it's for certain stages of the life and certain, for times, and some in there forever. So maybe this was just for this phase and this place in my life. That's where she was supposed to be. We enjoyed each other, and then we walked away, and it was all cool. Ain't no hard feelings. But the hard feelings come when you don't have these conversations, and you keep going down the road, and the next thing you know, y'all arguing and fighting about the same things you could have prevented and still been friends over for. Because we didn't have to get married and worry about money, your money, my money, because it's all mine if I'm single. It's all yours if you single. So we ain't got to talk. That ain't no argument. So, but we didn't talk about it. We didn't have a conversation. Now we fighting and getting divorced over money, and now all kind of money involved, and we losing a bunch of money to everybody. So again, have those conversations. That's what your dating is for. So again, this is, part 2 of the dating. I wanted to really focus a little bit more on that intimate, that relationship where you in that committed dating relationship now and helping you out in things to talk about. So just make sure, like I said, that you are communicating, learning how to communicate. Don't be afraid to have an argument because you need to know how people argue. Like I said, you don't want to find out, after the fact that this person can be abusive. You want to look. I want to know. So when I bring my dad or my brothers over to go upside your head, we ain't necessarily married doing it. But like I said, just be careful. But enjoy dating, enjoy the intimate relationship, but have conversations that's going to benefit you going down the road, because ultimately that's where you're going. If you're in a committed relationship, you're hoping it's going to keep growing. So have those conversations so that you'll know what you're growing into. So again, another episode on dating, and I hope you guys got something out of it. Again, get people around you that can help you kind of figure out what's best for your relationship, and then you guys work that out, as a couple. And again, if you have questions or comments that you want to put in that I can answer or try to answer later, feel free to add a comment somewhere, and I'll try to respond.
Or Felicia coming back.
Yeah, Felicia come back. She'll be having all kind of stuff, so maybe she'll come back and come up with a big issue that she got to deal with. But if not, you guys send in your issue and we try to deal with yours as well. So again, in the studio with Rob, I appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a good time and dating and enjoying each other. And until the next episode, be good. Peace.
Bye.